correct.
Oh, yes, we're here. Oh, yeah, it's a late night show. I know I've said 11, but it was a long drive. We were in Cincinnati and at Sam's show, and then it went late. And of course, we had to say goodbye to everybody. And it's official. Between my father and Sam Bush and I, we are the chattiest human beings that have ever existed. No question about this. We're it. Hold on. Why is my camera? There we go. Move this up a little bit. Hi. So good evening. I'm basically stacking stuff. If you don't have to watch this now, if you don't want to, you can just save it for later. Just a little morsel. I just want to get some of these off my list so that I don't get so far behind in the number of things I have to deal with. There's just so much stuff. Dear Lord, the craziness never stops. Thanks for subscribing. Look at that. Yes, I recommend that. Subscribe today. I made a button. Subscribe today. Also, Cash App. Subscribe today. Cash App. Hold on. Cash App. There it is. So let's jump right into it, shall we? There's a lot of stuff to cover. There's just so much. There's so much to cover. Let's go outside the norm a little bit today, shall we? Speaking of outside the norm, let's do it, shall we? Yeah, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Alex Jones live from hiding with a play button right over his mouth, which is the best place for it. It looks like a giant green pacifier. Love you guys too. Glad to be here. Hanging out late at night. I'm going to try not to talk too loudly, even if I get carried away, which will be very hard with someone like this dude on the screen. You know what I mean? And interestingly enough, 333 rumbles. If he uses, and I'm just saying, considering the amount of double speak, that's a 666 from him. And there'll probably be an ad because
we all see what's going on and happening here, and they want a real global reset.
They want us. What they want us to do is. What we see is happening here. Oh, motherfucker. Is he doing the same note-taking shit that... Look at this. What's he looking at? Right out of the gate. Somebody has gone to the Don Jr. School of Broadcasting. Live from a hotel room where I'm hiding out. I can't even fake that voice, and I'll lose my ability to sing. And by the way, shellfish allergy Wolverine is my fourth favorite Wolverine.
All the central banks say the new global digital system's coming.
The digital system, the global bank digitally system, digitalis system, where you back up. What were you saying? Sorry, dummy in a hotel room.
Here, and they want a real global reset. All the central banks say the new global digital system's coming.
Yeah, the global digital system. You know,
it'll be a mix of all the currencies, but they've got to.
It'll be a mix of all the currencies, unlike now where we have a mix of all the currencies.
Have an excuse to plunge it first. And what did I say 3 weeks ago?
I don't know, but I'm sure you're going to say I told you so about something that never happened.
I said this war, if they put big sanctions on Russia and then on China, will lead to leaving the dollar.
Oh yeah? You think?
China and Russia are obviously double dealing at the international level.
Geez, they're double dealing at the international level, and we don't get to have them as part of the international currency exchange. They're going to isolate themselves from it. Dear heavens, what shall we do?
Davos group only under pressure, decoupled from Putin, but they haven't from Xi Jinping.
What the fuck are you looking at? Is the maid holding up cue cards, asshole?
And so China is the long-term big winner.
China is, I'm seeing it written in the sky. China is the long-term big winner in this. No, they are not.
Out of this.
Wait, that's, fancy graphics though. I'm very jealous from my clips. I clearly need a hotel room lead in. And by the way, I think it's curious that multi-millionaire asshole dude who's ridiculously wealthy and selling, dick pills with lead in them, is broadcasting from a rather average hotel room, and not from a relative's house or a friend's house. What's it like to not have any friends or any family that wants to see you? Anybody know? I don't. The most banned network in the world. So banned, we have graphics.
We have Saudi Arabia saying they may just go ahead and take Chinese money.
Good luck with that.
Instead of taking the dollar. And to explain this, if you go back to Bretton Woods after World War II.
Except for Chinese oil sales, because the Chinese don't have enough dollars.
Where it was decided that the dollar would be the world reserve currency, that the purchase of oil would be made in around the world. If the U.S. loses that, and if China, the second largest oil user in the world, stops using dollars, that means the beginning of the end of the dollar.
No, it doesn't. It means the beginning of their isolation.
90% of world money transfer and oil transfers just 20 years ago was the dollar.
Yeah, 20 years ago. Imagine what we'll do once we move past oil without dollars being used as the reserve currency for oil anymore, which we don't want.
It's only 62% last time I checked last week now, and that will accelerate it. And once you get 50%, people will basically leave the dollar.
Yeah, for what? The ruble? Yeah, good luck. As Biden said, good luck in your senior year.
No one has devalued their currency over the long period as bad as we have and ever have.
No. The dollar is high right now.
Had their currency survive.
Not as high as Alex, but sure.
But China's been devaluing as well, even faster than us, but for not as long. The EU's been doing it faster than us, but not as long. So again.
Also, the Saudis are basically oil poor and cash poor at this point. Well, why would that be? I mean, they're basically in the same position as a lot of poor countries making deals with the Chinese in exchange for infrastructure and other kinds of stuff. The Saudis are about to get into a debt trap.
We've been doing it for a long time.
Yes. And by doing it for a long time, he means fucking frogs.
$1 100 years ago would buy you a lavish meal and, a horse carriage ride back home. And,
I remember when newspapers cost a nickel, and you could get a cup of coffee and an evening post for 10 cents.
Probably a loaf of bread at the local store.
Yes, on your way home from a fancy dinner on your carriage ride home, you'd get a loaf of bread, for the family. After, you had clearly a very expensive dinner with your mistress, I guess.
Now what does it get you?
It gets you a really nice dinner and a carriage ride and a loaf of bread. I'm not kidding. You can actually, $100 could get you a pretty nice dinner and a loaf of bread and a carriage ride. I think the carriage rides are you can get an Uber for $8. What the fuck?
So we all see what's going on and happening.
Yeah, we totally see what's going on. You're alone in a hotel room. Obviously, if there's a knock at the door, you're going to have to cut this video short.
Here, and they want a global reset. All the central banks say the new global digital system's coming.
Wait a minute. Oh, this is a reuse of the global digital system I'm very worried about the digital system.
And it'll be a mix of all the currencies, but they've got to have an excuse to plunge it first. And what did I say 3 weeks ago? I said this war, if they put big sanctions on Russia and then on China,
and I wrote it down right here. Yeah, we don't have big sanctions on China right now.
Will lead to leaving the dollar.
Okay. Sorry, we'll just use the dollar for all the sane countries with functioning economies.
China and Russia are obviously double dealing at the international level. The Davos group only under pressure, decoupled from
Davos.
Putin, but they haven't from Xi Jinping. And so China is the long-term big winner out of this. China is the beta test for the police state. They have 37 million people back under lockdown.
They're the beta test for the police state. Yeah, basically we're just like, so let's see how China's whole lockdown thing works, and then we'll just emulate that in America. No, we won't.
In China, as just a martial law drill.
It's a martial law drill. Yeah, they're our petri dish for this bullshit.
We're here in LA, and some of the crew, when I was at meetings trying to go to the Comedy Store, and they said no vaccine, you can't come in, even though it's not the law.
Yeah, they're a private company. They can set their own fucking rules. You remember America? We have private property rights, and people can refuse service to anybody, asshole, because we can. You do realize it's not a government rule. It's not a state rule. It's their rule.
And a bunch of other places.
Yeah, and a bunch of other places that also aren't government enforced. It's well, we're waiting for China's beta test to come back. I don't know.
So there's that tyranny overarching.
Yes, there's that tyranny, the Comedy Store tyranny, which is, I mean, this close to a Uyghur concentration camp. I mean,
but Putin is running into a lot more opposition than they thought. There's
who's they?
Massive Western special forces there, British special forces. Whoa, recently out of the military.
Recently out of the military. I mean, they aren't in the military, but they're still in the military because I made fucking bunny ears.
Got killed. A couple hundred foreign soldiers got wounded when 30 got killed just in one.
In China, 37 million people are in COVID lockdown. Here's what we know. This is from March 15th. Okay.
Barracks that they sent an international soldier in who was really a Russian spy. He just called in rocket attacks onto the facility. So this is a SH-T show at every level, and it only can get worse.
No, it isn't. It's not a shit show at every level. The Ukrainians are doing amazingly well. Digitalizingly well. They're holding back Russia. Are you shitting me?
As Ron Paul wrote.
As Ron Paul wrote. Oh, please hold up the sample of writing from Ron Paul. I've never seen anything where someone has used a turd frozen and turned into a crayon.
Just a few days ago in a big article we had at Infowars.com.
It's infotainmentwars.com, and you need to subscribe today. I'm just saying. Just infotainmentwars.com.
Is the United States Biden administration willing to fight Putin to the last Ukrainian?
Is the Biden administration willing to fight Putin to the last Ukrainian? Yeah, the Ukrainians don't have any say in this. They're basically robots. It's the vaccine. It's a chip in their neck. Biden did it personally. Hunter did it. His laptop actually controls the Ukrainians, like drones. Because
really, that's what this is. Again, Putin, the globalist, overthrew their government.
You know what? The crazy part is that I'm definitely keeping this hotel pen. See that hotel pen? Free stationery. That's how you get back at the man. Thank you, Asa. Good luck. Good luck on your apprenticeship.
Overthrew the Ukrainian elected government, started all these fights, put in the troops, put in the weapons to set up Russia.
Yeah, to set them up. Yeah, Russia had no choice in this. I mean, honestly, what's a Putin to do?
That's bad. Russia.
Yeah, so that's bad. Putin gets suckered into this, even though he's a true leader.
Taking the bait is bad.
They took the bait. Yeah, I mean, if only Russia didn't have a giant sucker that could be swindled by Joe Biden. But then he is a master criminal and a doddering old fool at the same time. He gets you both ways.
And now
it's a pincer move between competent and incompetent, and Biden's got you right in the middle, Putin.
Russia beginning to lose is bad because they're not going to give up. And
yes, them losing is bad.
It's going to escalate from there. So I've basically gone over that.
Yeah, basically, like all the stuff that's happened, that you've seen happen, I basically said all that stuff that happened, and I told you that it happened as it was happening, and then pretended like I told you it was going to happen, and I'm saying that again now.
Again, as I said, the London Guardian, you can look this up today, says that basically there'll be a depression and that Germans will go bankrupt in a year at current rates of energy prices because
Russians could buckle in 10 days, oil plunges, Fox News cameraman killed. Oil plunges. Russians could buckle. The second one, the second line kind of fucks your whole argument there, dum-dum. Thanks, Karen.
The left thinks or tells people, oh, don't worry if gas is $10 a gallon, like it is $9 a gallon in Chicago, $7 a gallon in most areas of California. Don't worry.
Well, Chicago's worse than California? Look at us.
Because you'll just use electric. Well, electric almost all comes from coal and natural gas, less than 10% from turbines and, of course, hydroelectric.
Yeah, but we're improving that. Also, coal and natural gas and nuclear are here as opposed to another country, whereas the vast majority of the oil is in Venezuela, actually, in the future.
Hydroelectric's the best. But
it totally is. At least we agree on something, Alex. One, hydroelectric fucking rocks. And B, skipping desserts is for losers.
It's been destroying hydroelectric everywhere and tearing out and not updating them because, they hurt fish. Just lie after lie.
Yes. Yeah, the Hoover Dam was blown up last week because a fish complained.
After lie.
You think he's upset about the chemicals in the water that turn frogs gay because the one in his throat is telling him to do things he never wanted to do before? The frog in his throat is literally like, he's cute. Look at that ass. How'd you like to bite that in the ass, develop lockjaw, and be dragged to death? I wonder if you could get his number. Shut up, the frog in my throat. You're gay.
Lie. So, and I've got some important clips dealing really with the police state now unfolding when we come back. But I wanted you to get more into all those news stories you got that tie into this and get your angle.
Yeah, tell me about the police state, and tell me that also why you're kind of absorbing the look of a Russian mercenary
on it. But to say Tucker Carlson is guilty of treason, to have a U.S. senator say that Tulsi Gabbard is 100 times worse than what people like, of course, McCarthy did. I mean, this is so dangerous.
It's terribly dangerous. Yeah. Because how are they going to keep getting away with it if people call them out on their bullshit? We're basically asking for a firing squad for everybody. I mean, they're not, but they are.
And now they're censoring anybody that even shows the Russian perspective. I mean,
are they? It's the Russian perspective. You know what I mean? If you try to sell nesting dolls on QVC, they will blow up the station.
Calling for us to be censored, even though I'm just trying to have peace and trying to really just talk about all the different issues and what this.
Yeah, I just want peace. That's what Alex Jones has always wanted. I'm Alex Jones, and all I want is peace. That's why I've been calling people fucking demons and calling for their destruction for decades. I just want peace. That's what this is about.
Really doing. I'm pro-America 100%.
Uh-huh. Are you? Are you, though?
The people that drove this war and started this are the ones that are about to kill the dollar and destroy our standard of living, which is now already happening. I told people 2 years ago,
no, it isn't.
You better get storable food.
Yeah. Buy some of our, buy a giant tub, one of those Home Depot buckets full of pancake batter, and just spoon that shit right in your neck.
Lockdowns are going to go on and off forever.
Which they aren't.
They're going to try to shut down, family.
Facebook allows war posts urging violence against Russian invaders. Yeah, that was weird.
Farms, you better get your storable food. It's going to run out.
Yes, you're going to run out of storable food. Only perishables will be available at your grocery store with the fine array of produce.
My Patriot has not been a month behind in their history. They've got the biggest company in the U.S.
My Patriot.
Best. They are now a few weeks behind and are telling people that. But
that's the prepper food stuff that he's talking about.
They told us, yeah, don't even really plug.
Yeah, don't sell anything. Although I'm plugging it by basically saying they're running out of food so that you guys will put in bigger orders because sucker's born every minute.
I mean, because we're just so far behind, they'd rather.
Yes, because you ate it all. You bastard. You had to take all the prepper food and you couldn't wait, could you? You ate all the waffle mix, didn't you, Alex? You ate all the protein bars that are amazingly delicious and yet satisfying and contain very little lead. Didn't you? Yeah. You ate all the frozen Eggos. You ate all the beans. Now what? And the baked beans at that. You left all the refried for everybody else, which is definitely healthier. But, you know, how many Boston baked beans can a man eat without winning some kind of a trophy, Alex?
Be able to catch up and not be like other food companies.
Don't say ketchup. They don't have any. They're out. There's no ketchup. You have to go to McDonald's and steal the packets. It's the only chance you've got.
They're always a few months behind. Well, they're already.
Yeah, because they're lazy. That's why. My Patriot, the prepper food, I mean, it's almost as if they don't believe Armageddon's coming. Lazy sons of bitches.
Weeks behind and prepare with Alex.
Prepare with Alex. Jesus Christ. What a bunch of masturbatory bullshit.
.com. Everybody got their orders in, a month or so.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, end of the world's coming. Dollar's going to crash. What you need to do is get your jerky.
It was really smart because now it's gotten right to you.
Fuck, this is just an ad for this bullshit.
So this is very serious, folks. The supply chains are breaking down. This is. I mean, you're not going to get tubs full of refried beans, emergency InfoWars Life Select 3 months of that in giant fucking shit containers that you can eat all this and then poop right in it and then bury your excrement like a true patriot in the yard. By design, Klaus Schwab said they would do it.
Look at this. $900 for a 3-month supply. Look at that shit. What a fucking... 9 months. Or sorry, that's only 3 months. Get the fuck out. $900 for 3 months? Get fucked. What's wrong with you? If the whole thing lasts more than 3 months, you're fucked anyways.
I'm not just blaming them now.
No, you're blaming them from before. Yes, you're saying that My Patriot, the supplier for, prep and hide with Alex, the walking Alex, they're lazy and weak and stupid, and you're losing money every day. And look at this shit. Look at this. Look how many tubs this is. How much is that?
Because I don't like them. They said post-industrial world, you will own nothing, you will have nothing.
Get the fuck out of here. Good Lord, you bastard. InfoWars Life Select is a year of food for $3,297. What in the fucking world? Oh, God. This is like, I keep expecting like Kirk Cameron to do a cooking show on InfoWars with his wife.
Well, like it. This is how they break our back.
It's good quality 2001 MRE food. Yeah, this is all the stuff left over from Y2K.
It's how they get control of us. So everybody this spring should be, even if you live in apartments or whatever, going out, getting seeds, planting tomatoes.
Yes, plant tomatoes in your apartment. Plant tomatoes. Jesus Christ. It's the end times. How many tomatoes you got? 4? What the fuck? I know my cat chewed the other plant. God damn it.
Planting potatoes, planting beans.
Yes, plant potatoes in your apartment. Use a tub. Fill the tub with dirt. Act like Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters.
Planting Brussels sprouts.
Planting Brussels sprouts so you have a variety of vegetables.
Planting eggplant. My parents.
Planting eggplant. All right, now this is getting filthy.
Have a garden.
Of course they do, Alex.
That is a half acre. That
in their apartment. They got a half acre apartment. It's a big fucking apartment, Alex.
Just in South Austin. So many Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I'm over it. I'm up to here. It's Brussels sprouts and Brussels sprout sauce. I've got Brussels sprout pancakes, Brussels sprout like fake sausage. I've got impossible Brussels sprouts. I got Brussels sprout shakes. I got Brussels sprouts and Brussels sprout sauce sauteed in Brussels sprouts with fried Brussels. If I see another fucking Brussels sprout, I'm going to start Armageddon myself.
So many peppers.
So many fucking peppers.
Hot peppers, sweet
peppers. Deep fried peppers. Orange peppers, long peppers, hot peppers, sweet peppers. Shrimp fried peppers. Chocolate peppers, bubblegum peppers. As soon as I get home from the war, I'm going to start Alex Jones peppers.
So many corn. Sometimes.
So many corn. Every time I look down, there's more corn. I didn't have any corn.
They grow that. I mean, just everything. Tomatoes. And whenever I go over there to eat,
yeah, God,
they're always just getting it out of their yard.
It's so weird. They're like fucking rabbits, these people.
And that's what we've got to start understanding is the globalists want to take away the prosperity. They want to have an excuse to do it while they pose as saviors. So if we point out they started the war, there's a group above it hurting America and Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the big spidery arm. It's the anti-gardeners.
Point out the 360 full spectrum dominance system.
Yes, the full spectrum dominant system, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but they're sold out. Don't try to buy the 360 dominance system. Alex bought the last one. They used up most of the leather, and he's got 4 zippers now. One here, one in the back. Obviously, there's no need for one in the front, but he's got 2 here. I don't.
Then we can all think like a globalist, but from the perspective of
a tomato,
knowing how they're.
Sorry. Fucking asshole. Look at the seeds that are available in the action pack. What kind of fucking nuclear goddamn. Look at these tomatoes. What kind of bullshit? Look at these things. Look at this one up here. This looks like Kim Kardashian's vagina after surgery. This is upsetting. This whole thing. Is that a potato or a pig snout? What is happening? I feel like I'm prepared for the end times. I hope you are
operating and stopping them. So this is life and death to understand this. So you're dead on that our standard of living has already slid massively. We're more in debt than ever, and we're going over the edge right now.
No, we're not.
Well, and that's the whole operating system of the Great Reset.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And the nice thing is, I mean, you used to be able to buy a giant fucking desk for pennies on the dollar. Now a desk like this run you $800-900 at an InfoWars yard sale after they go into the bunker and shut the door. Oh wait, they're not? Oh wait, they haven't sold their cars and hidden out in an environment? No, they're not planning for the end times, which are definitely encroaching and have been definitely encroaching for a long time. No, they're flying, are they? Oh, so he wears a mask when he flies. Okay.
Take things that we in the West have, quite frankly, taken for granted in the last couple generations.
Yeah, I mean, and you think they have giant, ridiculous desks like this in North Korea? Actually, they do. I'm sorry, it's state TV. Yeah.
Staples, having the ability to put gas in your vehicle and
fucking just to have staples. I mean, what happens in Armageddon if the Book of Eli shows up and it's not bound and you have to hold it together somehow?
Travel wherever you want, whenever you want. Having the ability to own a piece of land or have a...
Yeah, I want to own a piece of land. I mean, it might seem like it's boring at the time, but your own piece of land, it's something you'll treasure forever. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Staples, having the ability to put gas in your vehicle and travel wherever you want, whenever you want. Having the ability to own a piece of land or...
Yeah, I just... Oh, God, a piece of bland. This is not a good sales pitch for the food in those tubs. Own a piece of bland. It's... How's it taste? Taste is kind of a big word. Own a piece of bland. Oh, shit.
Or have a house that you own and...
Yeah, it's a Our house is a very, very, very bland house with nothing in the yard
and maybe a
and a really boring car. Our house is a very, very, very bland
nice
house.
barbecue pit or a pool in the backyard, or having a school to send your kids to, or having a
Yeah, or a barbecue, or to barbecue your kids on in the pool.
fridge full of food, maybe even having an extra fridge in the garage.
You know, the American dream. Sorry. What the fuck are these idiots? This is the end times. I mean, you can remember the days like sitting around a fucking heated can of beans, running from Terminators like John Connor. Remember when we had a fridge in the garage? Those were the days. Those were the days. And we had a beer fridge too.
All these things that have been staples and
It's a staple. When have you ever been without a fridge in the garage?
accessible for Americans in the past decades, all that's going to go away.
Yeah. Sorry, your dream of a fridge in the, it's all gone.
And that's really what the Great Reset is about. But
Yeah, the Great Reset is getting rid of your fridge in the garage, which you really only have because you got a new fridge, and the old fridge, you're like, fuck, where am I going to put this thing? I don't put it out in the garage. What do you plug it in so it doesn't stink?
getting back to the shifting back to Ukraine, Alex.
Yeah, it's a big shift.
You know, Zelensky, I think, is kind of in his final moments here. He's going to be addressing Congress tomorrow morning, I believe at 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m.
He's in his last days as the leader of a small country and in his first days of a country that has a more sound economy and more options than Russia does.
Eastern. It's probably going to be kind of his final plea. I think he realized that
oh, shit, we have a diagram. Shaping the economic... Okay, starts with harnessing the fourth industrial revolution. This is the great thing. Strengthening regional development, revitalizing global cooperation. This is kind of run together. Restoring the health of the environment, developing sustainable business models, redesigning social contract skills and jobs, shaping the economic recovery, and then back around. So it obviously the reset never happens. It just kind of is a fomenting cycle of wreckage and okay, so nothing's changed.
stepped into it here. He double
Yeah, I think CRT is in phase 5.
crossed Putin and made a deal with the globalist, and now they've stabbed him in the back, and even Germany is saying, no, we're not going to sanction Russia. So it's really just
What are you talking about? They cut off Nord Stream.
a mess. And I think world leaders are now saying, all right, you know what? It's why the UN is saying, you know what? We don't want nuclear war. Let's step back. I think Putin's going to have a victory in Ukraine, or it's going to be all-out war, and they'll either try to assassinate him, or they'll nuke Ukraine, or do a cyber attack or chemical attack and blame Putin to set up for a larger escalation.
Yeah, it couldn't possibly be Putin doing this. It's just an escalation because they don't like Putin because he's a sucker.
It's hard to believe that we're
Yes, it's hard to believe that anybody listens to this shit.
already into March 2022.
No, I mean, time passes. It's hard to believe we're in March 2022 since you said the world was going to end like 10 times in the last 2 decades.
And in the month of February, we had
God damn, I can't even listen to his voice without starting to lose mine. Jesus Christ. Hold on, let me slide this down here a little. Whoops, sorry. Why'd that get so big? That's crazy. Back down. All right. Alert box. Let me slide this down here because for whatever reason, my monitor is being very strong. So I've got to slide this over here and then get over this guy. And then, where are you? What is happening? Why won't it do this? What's happening? Okay, hold on. All right. Shift, there we go. I don't know why this is acting weird all of a sudden. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can turn this guy off and turn it back on. There we go. Because it was acting weird, and now hopefully I'll have access again. Oh, did it move it over here? Where'd it go? All right, I'm connecting. Hold on. It's always something with these kids today. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Lost connection. Resume automatically when the connection improves. Okay, why is this happening? All right, I'll just do it over here. Move this guy over there. Go back to over here. And then I can just watch it in this thing. I don't need that's the okay. Let's talk about the big shift, the giant shift. Oh my gosh, that alert box got very large. That's fun. So here's Glenn Beck, and ladies and gentlemen, he's having a moment. It's a moment, and he's having it. And I'm very excited that he's having a moment. And he's got to have the moment. This is how it's got to work. He's got to have this moment, okay? These magic moments are so important, that you got to do this. You got to, okay, where's this guy? And this is coming over here. Where do we go? Oh, it lost. Okay, it's not working. All right, never mind. I don't know why my other iPad is not working right now, but probably that's just life. All right, so Glenn's having a moment. And this is the huge shift he's going through. The word shift apparently made the rounds. A huge shift that forced Glenn to see everything differently. It's our moment. Glenn's having a moment, everyone. Here it is. Glenn took a giant shift all over himself, all over his desk and his nice hardware. I mean, look at this. He's got a big Sonic drink here. Look at this. Look at this giant Sonic beverage. What? I don't know. He's wearing a CR something. Is that a little tiny T? He's taken out one of his earbuds so that he can sing harmony. He's got an Elgato Stream Deck, a big one. Look at that. Take note, Greg Kelly. Glasses, gear, everything. But this is the end, folks. Hunker down. Get ready. It's time for the nightmare. This is the huge shift that Glenn is full of shift tonight.
It's a weird place.
That in your head, in between your ears? Yes, it is.
That some of these things that we thought were not going to happen. Let me give you this.
You mean that you were wrong about?
If I would have said to you that Joe Biden is going to tell China, you better not fill in the blank. You will receive significant consequences. Would you have said a year ago that he's the guy to do that? That he would ever do that?
No. No, of course not. He's weak and doddering and also a master criminal who runs the world's biggest criminal organization, but also he can't finish a sentence. And he obviously is failing right before our very eyes, but also the Godfather.
If I told you that he was going to do that while we were being on the edge of a war with Russia, do you think you would have believed?
I got to go out on a limb, Glenn. Would I? Yeah, probably. Like if they needed it, yeah. If it was necessary, yeah.
No, I mean, you just look at his actions in Afghanistan.
Yeah, look at that. Look at Afghanistan. You know where 20 years we were there and now we're out. Does that seem like a guy who's decisive?
Right,
right,
okay,
right,
different,
right.
Well, you're not even going
right.
You're not even going back to the...
No, yeah. I mean, to actually going back to when it wasn't his decision.
To the inauguration.
No.
If I would have told you we were going to be possibly on the edge of war with Russia, would you have believed that?
Well, no, because we didn't take any of the actions that caused this. Russia did.
No. And I want to
All right, this is the weirdest Trivial Pursuit game that they've ever played. What's your fucking point?
avoid it, especially with these people in control of what's going on.
If I said that the Russians, we would be on the edge of World War III.
No, we're in World War III. It's a cyber war. It's been going on for a long time. This would be technically World War 3.5 beta or 4.01 15.
And that the country that it was going to all come down to was Ukraine. And Russia was going to say that we're developing nuclear weapons with Ukraine, and they're broadcasting it to all of their country. Would you?
Glenn, Stu doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't either, but I normally don't know what the fuck you're talking about. No one does. But Stu is supposed to be on the team. He doesn't know where you're going with this. Can you pass him a note or something that gives him some sort of a clue? This is distressing for him. I can tell. He's starting to stressy.
Believe that. Would you have believed if I
Oh my God, get over yourself. What?
said, oh, by the way, India is going to start to part ways with us and start to chum up with China, and they will be one of the first in the world to drop the U.S. dollar as the petrodollar?
I mean, you want to talk about something we 100% know would not have occurred with Donald Trump as president.
Okay. He'll get to it. This never would have happened. Hold on. You do know India's in a constant war with China, right? So give me 1 second.
It's that. More than any of this other stuff, Modi loved Trump. Modi loved Trump more than Melania does.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
There's no way he would be doing that in this situation.
If I told you,
Well, that's because he would have sided with China and we wouldn't have reinstituted the Quad. Also, where is the India? I'll have to check on where he's relating to, because China has tried to reach out with India again because they have a bloody war going on, like the fistfight wars that are happening in the disputed territories in Tibet.
that Putin, his mouthpiece, said there needs to be reparations from the U.S. over sanctions, and those reparations would include not only all of Alaska, but also that they were claiming
It wasn't a spokesperson. That was like a news person on RT, I thought.
all of the Arctic and Fort Ross, California.
I would say that one I wouldn't even believe just before you said it. What do you mean they're claiming Fort
They're claiming
Ross?
Fort Ross, California. It's a small area in Sonoma County. It was of the Russian Empire's southernmost outpost in North America. It was sold off in 1841. They're claiming they deserve it back.
I gotta say,
Okay.
didn't know that.
Didn't know that. Wouldn't have. No way any of this is possible. Right?
Yeah, because you were under the impression that Vladimir Putin was sane and savvy, and that if Trump likes him, he must be awesome.
None of it.
Doesn't seem possible.
How about we're up against a war, and the guy who said the next war will be fought with ones and zeros, who is also partnered now with China, who has literally a skyscraper full of people whose only job is to hack into our systems here in the United States. If I told you we were on the edge of war and no one had hacked into our systems to shut things down, but Anonymous has hacked into the Russian, Ukrainian held by the Russians power plant. Okay.
Yeah, that's not weird at all. I would suggest, Glenn, that a lot of this is fantasy fart air in your empty skull, or a conflation of seriousness with inseriousness, and that Anonymous is a real existing thing, and this magical tower full of hackers to destroy us doesn't exist. It's also a fabrication.
How many things do we have to say that you wouldn't have believed a year ago before you start to say, I can't say that will never happen?
Gravity inverting. Just saying. Also, the levitating skateboard that Marty McFly uses in Back to the Future 2. No, if that existed, there would be no other problems in the world. They would have beat gravity, so that's just silly. I mean, I wish it was awesome. I wish it was possible because it'd be completely awesome, but because it would be frictionless travel. You wouldn't even need. I mean, tires gone. There's one petroleum thing that's just gone forever. Anyways.
I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm just asking you to think differently.
Yes. The thing that changed Glenn Beck, the huge shift, the giant shift that Glenn Beck took was when he remembered the old Apple billboards from 1998.
Forget even the last month. Just the COVID experience has convinced me now that you just can't rule things out.
Yeah, you can't rule things out. Aliens. The Earth is hollow. I mean, haven't you watched any of those stuff on Agartha? I mean, there's a hole down there. Admiral Byrd found it. It's full of, that's where the lost world is. It's full of dinosaurs. I mean, come on.
Completely rule things out. You can play probabilities still and still be right, being skeptical of the worst case scenarios often. But you can't rule things out.
No, you can't.
After going through that, I don't think I'll ever do it again.
So on COVID,
Yes, a global pandemic that a lot of people went, we got to watch out for a global pandemic because Trump was like, what global pandemic? It shuts down the pandemic response team. These guys are like, I would have never thought something like that could have happened just because everybody was expecting it.
said in that January before it hit here, don't fear the virus, fear the economic consequences that are going to come from it. And at that time, I said, look at they're locking people into their houses. Quote, that would never happen here.
Right. We didn't lock people into their houses here. We didn't.
Right?
It
did.
No, it didn't. The Chinese literally welded people into their apartments. People were not forcibly locked in their apartments. They were not. We all stayed in voluntarily.
It did.
It did not. What the fuck? The more you say it, does not make it true. Don't move on. Wait.
Here's one thing that
Here's one thing. This. Fuck you. People weren't locked. No one was welded into their goddamn apartment.
share with you.
All right. Here's it. Oh, God. I'm going to fling my poo like an ape at this point. I'm losing it.
That is a massive change in me.
Uh-oh. I hear he's mellowed out a lot since he came out of the closet.
Massive change. For 20 years, I've been trying to put a puzzle together
without any of the pieces.
Even knowing what the puzzle pieces were.
Yes, I know. I've seen your show.
I remember when I first started this, I put up on my chalkboard in my office.
Great. You have chalkboards everywhere. I pity your staff.
Okay, what are the things that if you were going to have a revolution, you would need to have?
Okay, a pocket knife, a wrist rocket, walkie-talkies, 19 giant tubs of pancake batter. Call Jim Baker or Alex Jones. Muscles. Nah, fuck that. Scratch.
You'd need to have control of the financial sector. You'd need to have control of the schools. You'd need to have control of...
No, you wouldn't. That's not how a revolution works. You're trying to seize control of those things, but you wouldn't need them for the revolution.
Of the police force, the army. I had like 12 or 15 items up on the
Yeah. And still.
board. And most of them, I thought, not going to happen.
Yes. Not going to happen.
They have all happened now.
I mean, in China, but still.
But I've looked at all of
Thanks,
those
Jerry.
things, and I've tried to piece the
Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show in any way you can. And if you can't, just watch.
puzzles together. I mean, you've watched me do it for
Yeah, we've watched you flail around like an asshole trying to make a puzzle out of something that was a perfectly good picture by cutting it into pieces and then trying to reform it into nonsense.
years. Okay, the Tides Foundation, but who's really behind the Tides Foundation, and how does that work?
And that never turned into shit either.
And oh my gosh, George Soros? We keep following him here. Here's Hillary Clinton, but what does that mean?
Yeah, how does it all come together? And now I've figured out how it all goes together. And that's why, Alex, come on in.
How is the Weather Underground involved again? What happened there?
Nothing.
And we would find the same people over and over again.
Illuminati.
I continued to do that. About 3 years ago, I put together a chalkboard and I said,
Another chalkboard? 20 years ago, you had a chalkboard? 3 years ago, you had to update the chalkboard. Things move too fast in Glenn Beck world.
I can't tell you how and in what order these are going to happen.
Because they are things.
But these are the 8 steps that lead to the end of the chapter of America and the beginning of a new chapter of what will be called America.
Fuck you! It won't be America, but it'll look like and feel like America, and you'll think you're in America, but it's not America anymore because there's things in it that we didn't used to have in America, and now it's still America, but we have those things, and that's what makes it not America. You know what I mean? Like, women are working. Do you understand? This is black people at Yale. This is America.
And the last thing on it
thanks, Lizzie.
was the trust implosion.
Have people stopped trusting you, Glenn? I can't. Thank you, Misty Q. I can't imagine why.
Where we will believe nothing.
It's not like you've worked towards that your entire fucking career.
No one.
No one. I trust a lot of things, actually. My trust is pretty solid. It's actually getting better every day.
Be believable. And there'll be a trust implosion. And that's when the real trouble begins, because all of the big players begin to unite, and our enemies across the sea see us as weak, and they begin to unite.
Yeah, they begin to knight each other.
And I said at the time, then a war will come.
A war will come. Wars and rumors of wars and whispers of wars and thoughts of war and scribbles of wars. A chalkboard of war.
Because war always comes in these times, because it's the easiest way to reset everything without everyone going crazy.
Too late. Glenn, you have a head start on crazy. So, and by the way, it's at this point that if they cut to Stu, he would still have that confused look on his face. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, you do it in peacetime, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do it when things are peaceful. You know what I mean? You got to change stuff when things are already changing. Like, it's sort of like Bob Dylan, you thought that was a song. That's an attack plan.
You need a crisis, and a war is the only thing that can go on and on and on.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, I thought the pandemic was going to go on and on and on, and masks would be forever. I mean, we're not wearing them right now, but still.
That by the
Leslie,
time you're done with it, you don't even remember who you were.
I don't. I mean, I don't remember who I was at the beginning of this video, Glenn. I'm so fucking confused. I think I'm Stu. If I was any more confused, I'd work for you.
You just are glad that it's no longer happening.
Oh, God. These guys. It never ends. It's just... I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He lost lost me at Chalkboard. And look at his face right now. This is the face of a man who knows the truth. I'm gonna die. I can't laugh too loud. Everybody's sleeping. Hold on, I need something to drink. Hold on. Oh, shit. Oh, God, the end times are here. I'm going to die laughing at this is a great way to go out. Okay. Okay.
Something has changed in me in the last 2 weeks.
I'm starting to understand. I mean, I don't know what it was. It was insomnia the other night, and I found myself binging RuPaul's Drag Race, and something came over me.
And that is this.
What?
I'm no longer looking for I'm no longer driven to look for the pieces other than the pieces of timing.
Oh, God. What the fuck? Oh, God. The pieces of timing. Shut the fuck up.
Since I started doing the research for the book, The Great Reset.
Oh, God. Which is not selling well.
2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That has everything in it you need.
Yeah, yeah. If it's double ply, it's very absorbent.
That is the story. That is how it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's how it is. By the way, this video that I'm using just on YouTube, I don't know what he has on his Rumble, has 55,000 views and 740,000 subscribers. So like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, and share this with your friends, because there's no way I'm going to catch up with these assholes and the money they have for this kind of production without your help. Good Lord. Great Reset.
Period. It is.
Yeah. Tell me, I wrote the book. I mean, it's got a D. Thank you so much. I mean, have you not? Buy the book, for fuck's sake.
I don't know what's going to...
Oh, eat me. And oh, God.
First, I don't know how they're going to deal with it, et cetera, but...
I don't know. I know the stuff's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's on God's time.
I'm no longer looking for instance, tonight's show on BLM. Why would I do BLM now?
I know. It's like you're fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like, why would that be? Let's see. Because you're a racist? That could be a reason. Maybe that's a reason.
Why am I exposing BLM?
You're not.
You will understand BLM and what it was really about, and you will see it through the eyes of the Great Reset for the first time. And
if you buy the book, if you watch our special on Glenn TV, where I'm dressed as Professor KFC,
everything makes sense.
No, it does not.
Every bit of that makes sense.
No, it does not.
It is remarkable. And
well, you're just because you're making remarks about it doesn't make it remarkable.
By the way, who's coming in to clean up BLM? Do you know they don't even have an office?
It's crazy. You mean they don't have an office for the concept of Black Lives Matter? You mean the organization, which is not the same as the sentiment, you fucking tool.
We don't know how much money they even really...
I don't care.
Made?
I got news for you. If I found out the Red Cross was completely corrupt tomorrow, I would still learn CPR, you dipshit.
Nobody really has a handle on that.
I got a handle on it. Want to see?
Everything's sketchy. We don't know who's even running it.
No, I don't know where they went. I mean, It's hard to even get one of the people who run it to admit that Black Lives Matter at this point. It's crazy. But what's the timing, Glenn?
We know that they have at least $90 million.
Dude, you have $90 million.
Who's even running it?
I don't even know who's running this. Not only do I not know who's running the Blaze, but your staff is like, who are we following here? What the fuck is happening?
It's a fascinating story, but we do know who's coming in to clean it up.
Uh-oh.
Mark Elias.
Well, there you go. I mean, Mark Elias. Russia, Ukraine, nukes, windmills, Davos, Agenda 21, Jade Helm, the mammoth carcass found in the Antarctic, Mark Elias. It all comes together. It's all going according to plan.
Know who he is?
I don't care.
He's the guy who oversaw the Steele dossier.
Oh, that guy. Right. He oversaw it with everybody else that oversaw it.
He's the guy who was the Clinton conduit that did all of that.
Oh, after the Washington Free Beacon paid for it, you mean?
He's the guy who went into every blue state and said, change the election law. Let's get these Facebook things into your town.
Yes, that's what he said. Let's change the election laws. Let's get these Facebook things into your town.
That guy.
That guy. The guy who got the Facebook things into my town? You mean those little like iPad-ish kind of things that sit there that you can look at that follow you around the room? Those things are fucking creepy.
Plus another Clinton advisor. Wait until you see this tonight.
Crazy. I'll wait till you see my special. It's almost as if I create bizarre paranoia just to get people to watch my bullshit specials about more fomented paranoia. It's almost like my shows are the equivalent of Alex Jones's fucking batter tubs.
Your mind. Anyway.
No, it won't. It won't blow your mind. I'm sorry. I don't want to. Spoiler alert. It will bore and annoy you like all of his other bullshit. Glenn Beck's specials make make Mike Lindell's docu-movies look like Michael Moore films.
The thing that has changed in me
is your cholesterol. No, it's not your cholesterol.
I'm no longer driven, and believe me, it's not something I can stop.
To wash your hands after you use the restroom.
I'm not driven to...
Right, I can tell that. To go to the you're not driven to go to the gym or eat right.
Figure it out anymore.
No, I don't want to figure it out anymore. I just want to make money off of it. I don't have to plan it out. I don't have to explain it. I just have to scare the living shit out of you, and that's how you'll stay glued to it. I focused too much on trying to make up some answers just to pretend I'm an authority. You're not looking for an authority. You're looking for someone to panic the shit out of you. That's why we've been losing audience to Russell Brand.
For the very first time, and this came to me completely unexpectedly.
Yeah, I know. Like bird shit.
And kind of freaked me out.
It was like an epiphany. It was like the Lord, but stupid.
I've been looking for 20 years. What is it going to look like when it comes?
And now I've just decided, I guess it looks like this.
I haven't had a second to think.
Yes, I know.
What does it look like after?
Yeah. I mean, how do you even... So, how am I going to sell prepper shit? Motherfucker, if he's doing the same thing, what's it going to look like after? Jesus Christ. You mean after your ridiculous predictions don't come true?
And I've known, these things are going to be, part of it, but I haven't looked at like my life, your life.
Stu,
I can speak generally what it's going to look like, but
what I've come to realize is that whatever the future holds, the nightmare that is unfolding is that the future will have, and I'm sorry to say this, Stu, the future will have stairs, lots of stairs, fucking stairs everywhere. Elevators will not work. There's going to be stairs every goddamn where. It's going to be like that scene in Ghostbusters. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to, there's going to be stairs, Stu, and I have not done.
How does the individual handle this?
Oh my God. So I've started a special program. The Great Reset is not, so I've started the Great Reset adventure series.
What is their life going to be like?
Son of a bitch.
That's where I am now.
Yeah, I can tell. You look totally prepped out, bruh. You look ready for any emergency. Like, if we had The Walking Dead tomorrow, you're the guy that everyone would follow. The guy going, I've been trying to put the pizza together. I don't even know what's... I'm winded. Does anybody have any pancake batter?
And that's a big deal.
What are we watching? What is this? What are you doing? Glenn, what are you doing?
Me, at least.
It's a huge deal for Stu.
That's a massive tripwire for me because...
Tripwire?
I don't know the timing.
What am I watching?
I don't know exactly what order it's going to happen.
I know that. I understand. You don't know shit.
But I know the players.
Oh, God.
I know the
damn it.
device.
Yes, absolutely. I know whether it's the red wire or the blue wire.
And that's where
I know when the hard breaks are on the radio, so I can bullshit until 26 minutes past the hour.
Like to see anybody who's willing to go there to start going there.
I'm going to go there. You want to go there? Huh? Let's go there. Where are we going? I don't know. When are we going? I have no idea. I just know who's going to be there when we get there. Are you sure? No, because we're not going.
Have to understand the Great Reset.
Just back to selling the book.
And again, tonight we'll go over the BLM
Oh, fuck you.
aspect. And
The BLM aspect. Yeah, nail that shit down.
you look at it and you understand the Great Reset, you're like, oh my gosh, how did we not? If we would have had the Great Reset as the decoder ring, we would have seen so much.
Yeah. If I had that book, like, before it happened, I could have extrapolated things from it and projected it onto the current situation and pretended they were related somehow because, like, I would have already been told what shit means before I even saw it, and therefore I would, using, like, infantile pattern recognition, use my belabored assumptions and overlay them on anything I saw to create a paranoid fantasy.
Get the book, The Great
Get fucked.
Reset.
No.
It's available in stores.
Oh, you asshole. These are all just ads. These lazy, weak-kneed, paranoid bullshitters.
Now, once it's sold out,
Yeah, it's gone forever.
I don't think it'll ever go into print again.
That I believe. This is the only true thing he's ever said. Once they sell out of these books, nobody's making more of them. Well, you know, if you got a wobbly table, you know.
Even a bigger paper shortage now.
That's why. It's not because nobody's buying it or there's no reason to do another printing. It's because of a paper shortage. We've run out of trees.
But get it while it's available in paper.
Yeah, don't get the digital version because solar panels will not save you. Book of Eli, Book of Eli. He's reshooting. He and Ben Shapiro, using Ben Shapiro's weird far-right production company, are going to do a version of the Book of Eli with the Great Reset being the book instead of the Bible. The Great
Hardbound
Reset.
copy. You can get it wherever books are sold.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Get it now. And when you get there, and
By the way, don't get it now, but subscribe to my show right now. Yeah, subscribe. Click the like, give a thumbs up, support the show in any way you can. I actually have a Cash App. There you go. How about that, Glenn? Huh? You sell your stupid book? I can actually sell my shit over top of it. You like that? How you like that shit? Huh? You son of a dog doodle.
You understand, and you can at least, you don't have to believe that a new digital programmable currency coming, that's crazy.
Yeah, like this. Have you ever heard about this whole like Bitcoin or Doge or Ethereum or like there's a MAGA coin? Of course, that took a shit. Glenn's putting one out called Shitcoin.
When you can say to yourself, I cannot dismiss anything as crazy anymore.
Yes. When you can say that to yourself, you're fucking crazy.
Because everything I thought was crazy has already happened.
It's already there. It happened. Everything I thought was crazy. Am I taking crazy pills?
Do I need to remind you? The Pentagon verified alien spacecrafts.
Oh, motherfucker. Why are you sniffing? Get your face up. What are you doing with the microphone? Quit it. Do I have to remind you? Do I have to remind you that the Pentagon already verified? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Okay. Go. The TOS violation.
Do I need to remind you of that? Probably, because most people are going, every time I say that to somebody, they're like, what?
Yeah, they didn't. The Pentagon didn't confirm alien spacecraft.
And during COVID.
Yeah, they thought you'd be busy, staying at home, doing nothing but watching television. You would have missed it because you were binge watching the first 48.
We paid attention. It's like something that we thought, well, what would happen to religions if we found out that there was aliens? What would happen to the society? And would we all buy? Nothing. The answer is nothing. Nothing would happen. When we verify, nothing would happen.
Well, apparently there was no verification and no one knows. So you haven't seen the ongoing effect of whether it would affect society because everybody you've talked to goes, what? So it didn't permeate through. All right, never mind.
So don't tell me that something is too crazy to think about.
There's a lot of things that are too crazy to think about. Matt Gaetz's sexual proclivities. If those occur in your head, that's too crazy to think about. Seek help. Marjorie Taylor Greene's ideas, too crazy to think about. I'm not going, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I thought she was wrong, but it turns out, no.
It is only those who think out of the box entirely that will make it through and be.
Yes, except for those people who think they can fly and take off from the roof. If you think that far outside of the box, you're a strawberry milkshake.
Able to lead others.
What? Yes, follow me. I don't believe anything.
Do not put your faith in man. Do not put your faith in a party. Do not put your faith in me or whatever.
Yeah, no, First of all, I have faith in my fellow man in large part. I trust but verify on an individual basis, but as humans go, I like people, so I'm okay with that. A party, I'm cool with the direction of the Democrats right now. Not everybody's getting everything they want, but that's democracy for you. What are you going to do? And never an option. Was never an option. Anybody, that's a bit, I mean, obviously, unlike you, I have family members that love me and trust me as well.
Everything could be gone tomorrow.
So buy my book so you have something to build a fire with.
Man will always disappoint you.
I'm talking to you, Stu.
Put all of your faith in God. Think out of the box.
The box that God put you in?
And we'll make it to the...
First of all, outside the box. Secondly, and we'll make it to the other side.
Out of the box. And we'll make it to the other side.
What the... Look at that. We'll make it to the other side. Whew, okay. Oh, thank God. Some perfectly timed gibberish. Oh, God, I was running out of bullshit. And I was like, God damn it, I've got another 45 seconds to yammer. Holy shit. Imagine that being that fucking diluted. Oh, God. I mean, it's 1:30. I might as well stay up and do another one. I missed you guys, and there's so much to cover. I don't even know what this one's about. I just want to see what it's about. This is Rob Shit. You guys know Rob Shit tonight. Who the title of this one is "They Are Wrong." Periods after every word. On Rob Shit tonight. He's a shit thief, apparently. I think that's supposed to be a dividing line, but what an odd choice. Okay, I don't even know what this is about. Let's find out, shall we?
Day 20 of Putin's violent assault on Ukraine. President Zelensky conceding that NATO membership is off the table for his country.
It's clear that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We understand it. We are adequate people. We have heard for years about open doors, but we have already heard that we won't be able to join it. It's the truth, and it's necessary to admit it.
Yeah, no. They're going to join after. They can't join during the fucking war. They can't join when they have a border dispute, and they can't join when they're in the middle of a war. They can't join currently. They can't just hop into NATO while they're being attacked. That's what he's talking about. He recognizes that. You can't create a NATO no-fly zone over a non-NATO country because it will ratchet up the war. It will, we don't, leap in front of other countries' bullets at the last minute. Membership has its privileges because you got to join. Now, it's not Zelensky's fault that they didn't join a long time ago. That was Yanukovych, arguably Poroshenko a little bit. But they're definitely going to join after this. But it's got to wait till after. Meanwhile, they're getting supplies.
Well, sadly, that concession so far has not stopped Putin's invasion. It doesn't seem like it will. And tomorrow morning, Zelensky will deliver a virtual address to our Congress. He'll likely beg for a NATO no-fly zone again and probably some jets and more aid. The NATO no-fly...
By the way, Biden is sending drones, the really good ones. The Bayraktar ones, the ones that they get from Turkey, are pretty good. But the ones they're getting from us can hover for like a week and fly around until they find a target and then pow.
Zone, however, is something the White House has said will not happen.
Right.
A no-fly zone would be escalatory, could prompt a war with Russia.
So earlier today, Joe
By the way, Rob, you're supposed to go, yeah, that's right. That it would.
Biden signed the spending bill authorizing $13.6 billion in aid to Ukraine. You can see it there in the box. Another bill packed with goodies for special interests, of
It's the budget, fucko.
course, which is the real reason Democrats look so happy at these bill signings.
Is it? I'm sorry. Did Republicans not look happy at all of Trump's? He always looked happy, like holding it up like, that thing, I put my name upon it. I put the name upon the thing.
All of their favorite people are getting paid. Let's hope.
You mean taxpayers?
At least half of that $14 billion gets where it's supposed to go.
At least half? All of it. All of it's going there. Dumb.
One of the things that this war in Ukraine...
Okay. And again, what's that? Let's hope at least half of that gets where it's going. What is the insinuation there, Rob Shit? Where is the skimming supposedly happening? What are you alleging? That the DOD is skimming? That some of our military members are skimming? What's your assertion there? What the fuck does that snide little weird comment about the money that's supposed to go to Ukraine mean? Honestly,
done over the last 3 weeks is skyrocket energy prices.
Something bizarre is happening.
All sorts of...
You mean oil prices are going down because production is going up?
Energy prices. The price of oil had been rising.
What do dropping oil prices mean? Gas prices are going down.
Throughout Biden's first year in office, it had almost doubled at one point before this all happened.
Yeah, because people hadn't been driving, and then they started driving again.
Ukraine dramatically exacerbated a problem that we already had. But in recent days, something very bizarre has happened, something that makes almost no sense whatsoever in this climate. The price of crude oil has absolutely plummeted. Check out this chart. A week ago, you can see right here, 127, 123.
Fuck, man. Really? Really? You guys are using ceiling mics on this fuckhead? It's not because his lapel mic's on his right lapel and he's turned around. Hey, shit, we're losing you.
Brent and WTI versus today, both of those down below $100.
Good.
It's a real head scratcher, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
The situation really hasn't changed. At least it doesn't
The volume is going up. Everybody's producing more.
seem like it has.
We're producing more. By the way, here's one of the reasons, Rob Shit, if you want to know, is because the deal that Trump made with the UAE and Russia to produce less, and Mexico and the United States, our people were under contract to produce less oil. That ended 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that cap is gone. So Mexico can go back to producing as much as it fucking wants. And we are too.
But it's not really, if you really think about it.
No, if you really think about it. I mean, if you Glenn Beck the pieces together, Rob has a chalkboard in his office from 20 years ago.
An economic downturn is now in the cards, potentially a recession, a huge economic slowdown that could be quite damaging in this.
Yes, especially if oil prices go down and transportation gets cheaper.
Country and around the world. The cause of which would be quite easy to identify, and that, of course, would be rampant inflation. And regardless of
but that's supply shock-based inflation. It's not monetary inflation.
Spin, which this White House performs shamelessly almost all the time at this point, we all know who would be at fault for that. Former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton and Obama economic advisor Lawrence Summers makes it plainly clear.
This is a grave problem. The president was wrong to blame this month's number on Ukraine. Everybody had been expecting from the time before Putin launched the invasion that inflation was going to accelerate from January to February.
No, they didn't.
This is a consequence fundamentally of an overheated economy.
Sorry, an overheated economy. Rob, Booby. Overheated economy means it's too much. There's too much money in the system. People are buying too much stuff. They don't mind. They're willing to pay more. They have more money than the price of the goods. So you can drive the price of the goods up because it's overheated. But it's because of supply shock over the world. Americans have more money than other people do, so the stuff is coming here. Good Lord. Overheated, by the way, because according to Larry Summers, once we get below 4% unemployment, that gets into dangerous territory.
That's a Democrat.
Right. Why didn't you finish the rest of what he was saying? Why'd you stop at overheated? What does overheated mean? Does that mean, is that the kind of recession where, oh shit, there's no goods, there's no available stuff? That kind of recession? No. This is a direct result of the collapse under COVID and the resurgence coming back. It's overheated, and the Fed is making monetary decisions as if it's a monetary version of inflation, and it ain't.
So what happened to the economy? Well,
yeah.
To make it easy, your government decided to dramatically overreact to COVID-19, and
yeah, that's what it is. They overreacted. They should have just let 40 million small businesses collapse
and print off ungodly amounts of money,
which they didn't do,
and create more government and more entitlements,
which they didn't do.
They love to do.
Well, then, if they love to do it, then why did the tax credit go away?
For the sake of protecting the people in an emergency, they handed out.
Yeah, people in an emergency. Fuck those people. They shouldn't have been downwind.
Trillions of dollars, while our economy.
No, they did not.
Effectively shut down.
Yes, they released into people's hands trillions of dollars because they couldn't get it any other way, and food costs money, fucko.
Tons of that money was completely wasted, as it always is when government gets their hands on money. They didn't care. It's not their money. They never care when you're...
Yeah, they don't care. Guys, they don't care. I mean, when Trump didn't care, and then people came in and they started caring, and now the Biden administration has put together a task force to go after COVID fraud, like PPP fraud and that kind of stuff. But never mind.
It's wasted. And then inflation exploded. And now, when asked about their culpability for inflation, that'll no doubt lead to some kind of economic downturn, they get really defensive. Politicians get this way when they're guilty.
Or when you're being an asshole.
Watch how pissed off Joe Biden is.
I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
The government spending is doing the exact reverse, reducing the national debt. It is not inflationary.
They're angry.
Well, no, he's motivating people to be able to stand up and tell the truth because they're kind of cowering about the conversation. That was a speech to the Democrats.
Because they want more money and more
more
power and more spending, and they want to be able to do it without any repercussions. And they really, really, really want Build Back Better, right? That was the big gem.
Well, no, the infrastructure bill was the big gem, along with the rescue package, which had a shit ton of stuff in it. Build Back Better will be nice, and they'll eventually get it, more than likely piecemeal and other stuff. But
got their little infrastructure one, but not enough of their people got their goodies out of that one. They want the big one. They want the $5 trillion.
That wasn't $5 trillion. The combination of all of them initially was $5 trillion. It eventually comes down to like 1.6, right? And majority of it was the infrastructure bill.
Untold amounts of money.
Yeah, they don't print money. That's not how it works.
And create so much government they'll be regulating how many times a day you go to the bathroom. That's what they.
No. I wish they did. Honestly, I wish they had like a little governor on me that I could, like, well, I'm over quota.
But reality is about to walk in and slap these clowns right across the face.
Is it? Reality's tough that way. It's kind of like, it's like Rob shit.
Janet Yellen is the Treasury Secretary in this country.
Look at this. They are wrong. The reality check is going to hurt.
Despite her financial background and prowess, she used to lead the Fed, she's been a primary enabler of this spending insanity, saying, don't worry. This inflation that we're seeing right now, it's not going to lead to a recession. Take a listen.
We've got a good, strong economy with an excellent outlook for the labor market and real activity going forward. Inflation is a problem, and it's one that we need to address, but I don't expect a recession in the United States.
Right. And?
You should feel better. The Treasury Secretary doesn't expect a recession. Oh, okay. Well, we feel better now.
Yeah, she's not doing that out of just pure reassurance, dum-dum. She's doing it because it's based on the numbers, the actual strength of the economy, and why the inflation occurred is because of COVID, not because of a lapse in monetary policy or a particular shift in spending over time.
Obviously, this is a highly educated woman, well-versed in economic issues.
And Rob isn't.
But she's much better at politics, left-wing politics. Here's Yellen just 6 months ago claiming that Build Back Better would be anti-inflationary.
Right.
Yes. Treasury Secretary saying that printing and spending maybe $5 trillion more in this country would actually help to ease inflation.
Yeah, that's not how it works. They're not printing and spending $5 trillion for Build Back Better. That's not how that works. It pays for itself. It zeroes it out.
For many American families experiencing inflation, seeing the prices of gas and other things that they buy rise, what this package will do is lower some of the most important costs, what they pay for health care, for child care, and it's anti-inflationary in that sense as well.
It's anti-inflationary.
By the way, do you think Rob's just angry that he's as dumb as he is? Is that what he's... Because look how pissed this asshole is. Do you think he's just... Like, he just hears the amount of money they're discussing and is like, I'm in this stupid fucking set.
Janet Yellen was installed as head of the Federal Reserve by Obama and then relieved of her duties by Trump.
Relieved of her duties.
Comments like Janet Yellen's right there should make you very nervous.
Why?
People have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Yes, they do.
To this country, or they simply don't care.
Yeah, probably that. Probably just like, I don't care. They probably just going to work going, I don't care. I don't even know why I'm fucking here.
Purely political talking points from...
Yeah, they're just they get a fax every morning of what they're supposed to say. They go and say it, and then they go have a nice shrimp dinner and go, what are you doing today? I don't know. I didn't even do it. Whatever it is, I'm bored.
Somebody that knows better. Janet Yellen was not named the Treasury Secretary for Biden because she's an economic savant. She got the job because she was willing to go on national TV and say things that nobody with a shred of economic sense could ever, in their wildest dreams, believe to be true. Well, printing trillions of dollars and spending...
Oh, the printing trillions of dollars. They don't print trillions of dollars. Not how it works.
It won't increase inflation?
No, it's because... you're the one saying they're printing trillions of dollars to do this. They aren't. That's not how it works. This is the direction of funds. Especially the Build Back Better part, which pays for itself. It's already paid for. They don't add any money to the deficit. There's no money printed for this purpose. None of it. It's not how it works. It's not even how the fucking Fed works.
She fully endorsed the nonsensical agenda of the Democrat Party. Of course it's not going to increase inflation. It's going to make it go down. We're
right.
Print all of this money.
We're not printing money.
And just dump it out.
That's not how it works either.
And money will be worth more.
Yeah, in that case, if you were just printing money and dumping it out, if you try that from your garage, you're going to jail, dum-dum. But that's not how it works.
After we do that. $5 trillion. We're going to rain trillions of dollars down on this country.
No, they aren't.
And the money that you have in your pocket is going to be worth more after we do that.
Yeah, you keep saying that as if this is actually what's happening.
That's
dead air, Rob. Dead air, you dum-dum. Are you really trying to fill this up with just by standing by a graphic?
Treasury Secretary.
Right. She knows what she's talking about. You, however, are a dum-dum.
February's inflation, 7.9%. 4 months after Janet Yellen made that statement.
Brutal. It's almost like it's still timed with the end of COVID before everybody was vaccinated, and then we still have to live through the downturn that happened around Delta. And, yeah.
And these people keep their jobs.
They might keep their jobs. They do it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, can you imagine?
I can't imagine. If I could do math, I wouldn't be here.
Can you imagine being this bad at your job and you just keep getting elevated?
Yeah, it's so terrible at their job. We have 3.6% unemployment. Wages are rising. The literally year-over-year inflation is caused by COVID.
This is happening all over the government.
Isn't it?
Just another shocking example of an administration that is utterly incompetent and playing with so much fire.
Yeah, so much fire. Here it comes. What's the other area where they're spending like crazy?
People like Janet Yellen.
Janet Yellen?
Just like Janet Yellen.
You can't put a woman in charge of this stuff.
Are working right now to prevent World War III with Russia. How's your confidence level? They're about to sign a nuclear arms deal with Iran. Does that sound smart?
Yes. It was working before until Trump scuttled it.
They want to end American energy production to save us from climate change even.
Yeah, no, they don't. Again, Biden has given out 34% more leases in his first year than Trump did in his first year. 3,326 in total. Trump gave out just over 2,000. Fuck you. There are 9,000 unused oil and gas leases in the United States. Oil production has nothing to do with the government allowing it to happen.
They have no.
By the way, it's going up, and that's why the price is going down. And a moratorium, literally paying oil companies not to produce, which is what Trump did with Mexico and U.S. providers in a deal with Russia and Saudi Arabia, it just ended.
Alternatives ready to go. They say climate change is going to destroy the world very soon. It might not do it before they do.
Really, that's the tail end of it? That's your zinger? That's it, dum-dum? How many times do they literally... We've just watched a man snark his way through a news segment. They call themselves Newsmax. I couldn't get away with that. I couldn't not reference the fuck I'm talking about or play a obviously edited clip to reinforce some sort of like aha that I have. I mean, other people do it, but fuck those people. They're cheaters and liars. I'm not going to do it. And the fact that Newsmax can just do that and go, yeah, that was sweet. Good job, Rob. Wrap it. We'll go to commercial, come back after that, and we'll go to fucking Ted Nugent's on the line. Jesus Christ. Okay, back, and I'll give you another example of how Newsmax has just lost their fucking mind. So, Greg Kelly, Congress is focused on scandal. 22,000 views of this clip. I'm still in shooting distance, and they have a whole network. Just saying. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do this real quick. Hold on. Move this guy over here. It's a little better. And this is, we'll see. Hold on. I have to put this over here. This is Greg Kelly. I think, hold on. Donald Trump's impeachment was a waste of time. Think about what we could have done for the world, for Ukraine, instead of debating this monetary... the phone call. Okay, so this is about the Zelensky phone call, which is when Trump literally answered Zelensky's call for javelins with, okay, I'm going to need you to do us a favor, though. A favor that Zelensky didn't end up doing, and Trump withheld the funding till the very last second, because he had to give it out, or he would have effectively, it would have drawn attention to the fact that he was holding it back, and this was all in secret.
All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get...
Jesus Christ. Greg, call your father. Apologize. Get back together. This is embarrassing. I've seen strippers with fewer daddy issues.
Do they? And the fake news right now really is...
Look at this graphic. Holy shit. The fake news, calling out fake news. Look at all this stuff. You can tell it's fake news. I listed everybody, including Fox, because fuck those guys.
They haven't been telling their people the truth. And when the... truth tries to get slipped in there...
When the truth tries to get slipped in there, this man talks for a living.
Everyone freaks out.
Everyone freaks out.
Российский премьер подчеркнул, надо усилить сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить доступность лекарств.
Больницы не должны.
First of all, that's Russian television, fucko.
So in America, if you did that, well, you see it all the time. People, that's like a Baba Booey situation. Oh,
yeah, that's what it is. It's just a Baba Booey saying no war on a state-run network that the government fucking controls.
For there, this is as bad as it gets, and she is in potentially a great deal of trouble. Her name is Marina, and she was arrested, subject of a pre-investigation check, whatever that is, interrogated by police for 14 hours. Just fine so far. Look, she seems happy right now, by the way, and here she is with her lawyer. We're just afraid that she's going to be shipped off to the gulag or be fed a little bit of arsenic for lunch. We hope she's okay.
Jesus Christ, dude. I'm overwhelmed with how much you care for her.
The whole world knows what her name is and knows what she looks like. Again, in America, you'd go on the Jimmy Fallon show after something like this. Here, she's in big time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Greg. I thought we were basically Russia right now. I mean, the way the convoy was treated, these are Auschwitz trains, right?
Danger. Also, did you hear about the TikTokers who met with President Biden, or at least his team?
Oh my God, TikTokers. I mean, this is definitely on the same level as a woman who is probably going to jail for 15 years for holding up a cardboard sign or a placard in front
at the White House. I can't figure out these TikTokers. They're
the kids today, and they're ticking, they're talking.
Ordinary. I don't find it that entertaining, but they have like gazillions of followers.
Unlike you.
And now they're armed with Biden administration talking points.
Yeah, that's what it is. Biden administration, not American talking points. No, Biden administration talking points.
I had the opportunity to ask the White House why gas down the street is $7, and here's what they said. The obvious reason: we're getting out of a 2-year pandemic. When use goes up, price goes up.
There is a substantial amount of Russian propaganda and just misinformation on this app. And thankfully, the White House
That's true.
is reaching out to creators to dispel that misinformation.
Uh-huh. You ever watch Chinese TikTok? Holy shit.
They hope that this crisis at least raises the public consciousness around geopolitical issues throughout the world, and that even though Americans may not be proud of other things the United States has done globally, that they hope that we can look back on this moment and see how the United States rallied the West to stand up.
Yes, they're relating what they were told. They're not like, I had this idea, and lying about the fact that they met with the White House. This fucker's got the White House in the background.
Against Russia, and be proud of that.
All right, eat your heart out, Walter Cronkite. Look, just because you're cool.
Okay, so somebody's upset they didn't get invited and has just decided now that TikTok might be the future.
Doesn't mean you're hip, all right? Doesn't mean you're hip. And just...
No, not if anybody knows hip, it's Greg Kelly, who looks like a Fisher-Price man in a purple tie.
Outed off a bunch of talking points, and quite frankly, you should have dug a little bit deeper. Meanwhile...
Oh, sorry. Dug a little deeper, so we shouldn't be proud of how we're supporting Ukraine. Is that what you're saying? Or that gas prices aren't up because we've just come out of a pandemic and there's a supply and demand issue? Which part?
About all this stuff, you know what I've been thinking about?
Masturbating on the bus again?
The phony impeachment of Donald Trump over phone call to...
This war was a long time coming. What?
Zelensky.
Hello, President of Ukraine.
Just when it became a public issue, Trump released the transcript.
Yeah, it's not a verbatim transcript. If I may. Let's hold on one second. Thank you very much, Isabel. There you go. That's frozen for some reason. Very strange. Internet here is very funky. So hold on one second. Trump, Zelensky. Where are we? Zelensky transcript. So, yeah, here you go. Trump, here you go. Yeah, so this is the transcript. Memorandum. See this? This is what he's talking about. like you to take a look at this part right here. We've talked about this before, but it's an important little piece of it. See this? A memorandum of a telephone conversation, telecon, is not a verbatim transcript of a discussion. The text in this document records the notes and recollections of Situation Room duty officers and NSC policy staff assigned to listen and memorialize the conversation in written form as the conversation takes place. A number of factors can affect the accuracy of the record, including poor telecommunications connections, variations in accent and or interpretation. The word inaudible is used to indicate portions of conversation that the note taker was unable to hear. Also, if you'll notice, hold on one second, let me slide this down here. If you go down this part, there's a couple of areas where it just says ... That's redacted stuff. They just decided to do that instead of putting a black line through stuff. And if you'll go, let's see. Let's see. We are buying American oil. We have a very future meeting. We'd like to do this. I have a good idea for you to travel to Ukraine. Okay, this is before here. Let's see. Discuss further opportunities. Oh, it's up earlier. Okay, it's in this. Yeah, here you go. This part right here. We are ready to continue to cooperate for the next step. Specifically, we are almost ready to buy more javelins. Let me shrink this down a little bit so you guys can see this. We are almost ready to buy more javelins from the United States for defense purposes. They know that they're in danger. They didn't get a White House meeting. He's been stiff-arming NATO. Nobody's coming to the rescue, but we definitely need some javelins if these motherfuckers try to move in. What's Trump's immediate response to buy more javelins from the United States for defense purposes? The very next sentence. I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say CrowdStrike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people, the server. They say Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that went on. The whole situation, I think you're surrounding yourself with the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I would like you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, the whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller. That's his whole piece of this. It's very important that we open for any future cooperation. We're ready to open a new page on cooperation relations with the United States. He's talking in very generic terms, and Trump basically goes back and like, I'm going to send Rudy Giuliani down to talk to you. Here you go. Good, because I heard you had a prosecutor who was very good and he was shut down, and that's really unfair. That guy wasn't shut down. He was a fucking sock puppet for Russia. He split. A lot of people are talking about that, the way they shut your very good prosecutor down and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was the mayor of New York City, a great mayor. I would like him to call you. I will ask him to call you along with the Attorney General. Rudy very much knows what's happening and he is a very capable guy. If you could speak to him, that would be great. So Rudy's supposed to handle the criminal part of this conversation. But the immediate response was, I'd like to buy more javelins. And what was Trump's response? Okay, but you're going to have to do us a favor, though. You want the javelins? You're going to need to do me a favor. And the favor, beg your pardon, the favor is to do this. What Rudy ultimately asked him to do was do a press briefing saying we're investigating the Bidens. He wanted a redux of the Hillary Comey press conference.
White House, and everybody could see it. It was so official.
It was so official, and it says it's not a verbatim transcript. There is a verbatim transcript. That's on a secret server called the Nite server.
It was obvious in moments that this was not inappropriate. It certainly wasn't impeachable.
Yes, it was.
But how much?
Yeah, it was, because he got impeached. He just wasn't removed from office. He got impeached. He was impeached. He was impeached with cause. The Republicans in the Senate kept him from being removed from office.
Time as a country did we waste on it?
We didn't waste any time on it. We dealt with it.
Do you remember those
Yes, I do.
hearings, the trial? It was all a waste of time.
No, it was not. It was a recognition that what he did was wrong and criminal. You don't get to get away with shit just because you're Greg Kelly's favorite daddy replacement.
Think about what we could have done for the world, for Ukraine, if instead of debating this ridiculous momentary phone call, it wasn't ridiculous, it was fine, just doing something for the security of Europe.
We did lots of stuff. Trump was stonewalling it all along.
Our lawmakers are kind of supposed to do things like that.
They do. This didn't eat up every waking minute. They passed bills while this shit happened.
Serious issues going forward. What were we doing last summer? January 6th. Remember that those cops? It was all
Yes.
about January 6th.
Right. You know, one of the best ways to handle this is if January 6th had never fucking happened.
Why did they choose these issues? Because
they didn't choose them. They fucking happened. Trump chose these issues. Trump chose to bully Zelensky and try to manipulate him to get compromise and failed on his political opponent. He also told his people, we're going to go down there, walk down there peacefully and patriotically, but if we get down there and we don't like what they're doing, we're going to have to stand very strong or you won't have a country left, and I'm going to go down there with you.
Because they're easy to understand. There's a narrative. I mean, talking about arms shipments to, talking about helping Ukraine, genuinely helping Ukraine, enhancing Eastern European security. That's boring. This stuff, it's...
What are you talking about? Trump interfered with it. The Congress had already passed the funding. They had already agreed to the money. The Congress had already signed off on it for them to buy more javelins. Trump was withholding the money illegally.
It's a scandal. And oh, by the way, while this stuff was going on,
but that was a scandal too.
What was Vladimir Putin doing? He had just met with Joe Biden, okay? And I think the wheels were turning. Actually,
yes, that he wasn't going to be handed Ukraine and he was going to have to take it. And if he didn't do it this time, he's going to be ousted from office.
Last July, he put out a very interesting, basically an announcement of what he wanted to do. Take a look. Number one fact is crystal clear. Russia was robbed indeed. Talking about Ukraine, all right?
Yeah, so he clearly came up with this because this isn't an idea he's had in his head for a long time. This is because Biden is weak that he came up with this.
Next, if economic ties between our countries had been retained, Ukraine would enjoy the benefit of tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah, as opposed to hundreds of billions of dollars with Europe.
Next, finally, I am confident that true sovereignty of Ukraine is possible only in partnership with Russia.
Yes, I think the only way you're going to leave here is if you and I get in this car together. Yes, the carjacking form of freedom.
This is code for he wants Ukraine back, all right? He said.
Right, which he did not dream up in the last 12 months.
And it's interesting, this letter came out right after he met with Joe Biden, okay? They had that meeting over.
Right, because he was not going to be able to just take it.
There. And you tell me, I just don't think that Vladimir Putin was particularly impressed, all right?
Well, he was wrong. Apparently, he miscalculated the same way he made his battle plan.
When they sat together, he was like, I've got this guy figured out.
And he didn't. He got fucked into a cocked hat.
That's my sense.
Well, you don't have any, so that makes sense.
Takeaway. Once again, this country focuses on the trivial when it should be focused on the important.
Dude, you're just wasted a minute and a half talking about that you thought they had a meeting where Putin assessed that Biden wasn't serious, so he wrote this letter, and look how he's sitting.
Our obsession with scandal,
with actual crimes,
with silly stuff like that phone call.
Well, Trump is an inserious person, so he is indeed silly, but fuck you.
It takes our eye off the ball, you know?
No, it doesn't. Again, the money for Ukraine had already been allotted. Trump was holding it back. January 6th was a real attack on the Capitol. It was shitty. It's one of the reasons why Trump says Afghanistan was the most embarrassing thing that happened to our country, because Sean Hannity and others told Trump that January 6th was the most embarrassing thing that had ever happened to our country. Do you understand? That language stuck in his head, and he had to transfer it onto somebody else because he now has that albatross around his fucking neck forever.
Who actually concluded this? The 9/11 Commission. September 11th, 2001 happened.
What the fuck? Where's the no-fly zone? Get fucked.
In part, and they say this in the report, because our Congress doesn't worry about oversight, they worry about scandal. Issues designed to get maximum media attention. That's where they spend most of their time.
What? And first of all, is Infrastructure Week? Anybody?
Now, there are some exceptions to this.
Yes, Infrastructure Week. The infrastructure bill. Yes. The American Rescue Package.
Once again, Mark, everybody wants a no-fly zone. There's
no, they don't.
A lot that goes into that, and the one guy who seems to understand that the most is Marco Rubio.
What?
Republican from Florida.
What? And by the way, what is this doing? Why are you wagging back and forth like Zooey Deschanel?
Marco Rubio, Republican from Florida.
Are you and your colleagues now more open to a no-fly zone?
You know, look, a no-fly zone has become a catchphrase. I'm not sure a lot of people fully understand what that means. That means flying AWACS 24 hours a day. That means the willingness to shoot down and engage Russian airplanes in the sky. That means, frankly, you can't put those planes up there unless you're willing to knock out the anti-aircraft systems that the Russians have deployed, and not just in Ukraine, but in Russia and also in Belarus. So basically, a no-fly zone, if people understood what it means World War III.
Dude, this is what the Biden administration has been saying. What do you mean that he's the only person who fucking gets it? He's cribbing from their notes. This is self-evident to fucking everybody.
He's a very thoughtful law.
He put a Bible verse up after this. There was a Bible verse. I don't know if you noticed this. There's a Bible verse about it.
Maker, and he's done his homework.
Done his homework. Just because you don't know it and you don't watch anybody else doesn't mean he's the only person thinking this, Greg.
I appreciate that, especially.
Yeah, you do. That's why you appreciate it when Biden said it and Jen Psaki said it and fucking Keith Olbermann said it. Like, Jesus Christ, who the fuck doesn't know this?
As somebody who once flew in a no-fly zone over Iraq, Operation Southern Watch in the late 1990s. There's a lot that goes into that.
Yes, you flew in a no-fly zone against over a country that doesn't have an air force.
And it's not so easy. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't.
We won't.
But he understands the ramifications. And I think everybody else needs to be reminded, me, you, everybody.
Yeah, we need to be reminded.
That when it came to protecting Ukraine, Donald Trump was the guy.
Trump administration decided to provide additional assistance to Ukraine in the form of lethal anti-tank missiles as they fight against Russian-backed separatists.
This administration has given lethal...
Because the Congress made them.
The Javelin anti-tank system to Ukraine.
After withholding them.
This
is all the shit he did. This is after they got busted.
Administration has provided lethal weapons to the citizens of Ukraine to fight Russia aggression.
He did. You can look.
He totally did. I mean, because he legally had to.
Sometimes it's hard to find, but he did. And you can also look it up. It's definitely hard to find that Obama-Biden turned off that lethal aid that Ukraine desperately needed.
Yeah. Because Yanukovych and they switched over to Poroshenko right after that, and they didn't know whether they could be trusted. And most of the stuff that they gave to Ukraine ended up in Russian hands.
President Obama met with Poroshenko afterwards at the White House.
Yeah, sorry. Is Zelensky president during this?
That only non-lethal aid, however, would be provided.
We are providing non-lethal assistance. But the fact is, militarily, as Crimea demonstrated, Ukraine is outgunned.
Vice President Biden heads to Ukraine this week, offering moral support to go along with the non-lethal aid pledged by the United States.
That's some.
Yeah, fucko. That was right after Euromaidan. That was before Zelensky was president.
Isn't it? It really.
Yeah, it's really something. It's almost like clocks move forward and calendars have days in them.
It is.
It's almost like, it's weird. It's like March happens and then April happens and then May and then June and then July and then like 2013 happened and then 2014 happened and then after that was 2015.
And they never talk about it. It's all.
Yeah, they don't talk about it. They don't talk about stuff. I mean, honestly, when are we going to talk about the U.S. involvement in World War II before Pearl Harbor? You know what I mean?
Downplayed.
It's downplayed. Downplay this, you twerp. Oh my God! They cut away. They think it's a zazzy. Fucking hell! All right, I'm exhausted. It's late, but there's so much to do. That's the thing. Everything we did. I mean, that's pretty sound. We did 4 things tonight, right? Never mind the fact that there's these guys. All right. I mean, it's late. One more. I'll just throw this on there. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide, the late night road edition. People can watch this tomorrow or in the afternoon or anyways. So the Flashpoint boys, we got Gene the Jesus Machine right here. We got Lanny Walnuts. We got Hank Cooney Coon. We got Mario Scario. And Eric Metastasizing, who was on temporarily. And now we've got a new guy joining in this who's going to, this is called God is on the Move. Pow. Pastor Artur Pawlowski. An update from him on, I guess, the end times. But he's going to give us, we're going to leave you, folks. Welcome to HAL Sparks Mega Church Worldwide. We're going to leave you with a prophecy that will tell you want. I mean, Glenn Beck doesn't know which way to shit upside down, but now you do. You're going to find out.
That name.
Here it comes. Yes, Pastor Artur. Pastor Artery. Clogged arteries.
This is the son of Pastor Art. So many folks have been asking.
The son of Pastor Art Pawlowski. Pastor Art.
Nathaniel, give us an update.
Oh, it's an update on him. Hold on. Excuse me. Beg your pardon. Pastor Art, who apparently is back from a hunting trip where he kills wild animals and stakes them to his wall.
On your dad, he's been in prison for how many days? And just tell us what's going on.
Yes, why is he in prison?
Yeah, so my dad, Pastor Arthur, has been in solitary confinement for 36 days now. This is unprecedented. This has never happened before.
To him, he's never had solitary confinement for that long before?
To a pastor in what's supposed to be a free and democratic society.
Why would it make a difference that he's a pastor? The fuck did he do?
All because he dared to go do a sermon to the truckers down at the Sweetgrass, Coots, Alberta-Montana border, where the truckers were doing a blockade, a protest, a peaceful protest. And he went down to do
a blockade. By the way, this is in Canada. I see. So he's in jail in Canada.
Gotcha. To do the Lord's Supper with them. And while he was there, he told them to hold the line, to keep fighting for your rights and freedoms, to not give in to the tyrannical government. Mm-hmm. And for that, he was arrested on February the 8th and has been in solitary confinement ever since.
Because he was arrested or because of something he did? Are they keeping him in protective custody and that's why he's in solitary confinement? Because he's not in with the lifers?
He's been denied bail twice.
Oh, he was denied bail. Why? What did he say at his bail hearing?
And we don't know when he will be let out.
Well, obviously they think he's a threat to the community, so he didn't just go down there to tell them to hold the line. There's something more to this story, I'm guessing. Would this be traditionally what we call a lie through omission? Are you bearing false witness?
Next bail appeal date has not been set. We should know the date tomorrow.
I agree.
But it looks like we're at the mercy of the politicians and
or your father's behavior.
The corrupt judicial system.
It's corrupt. These Canadians. I mean, honestly, it's no work. I mean, Canada, Russia, what's the difference?
We could decide that the next hearing will be in a few days.
Let's see. Shall we? Hold on one second. Nathan Powell. Whoops. No. On his dad. Nathan Powell gives an update on his dad. Nathan gives an update on his dad. Religious exemption. Son of pastor remains to okay. 10 exemption. So he's okay. Arrested and thrown into solitary on Free Republic. Was arrested. Left his house. His son of the pastor being held. He seems to be making the rounds. This dude. I will say that. Look at this. Here we go. Update. This guy, by the way, was handing out religious exemptions to the vaccine. It seems. Thrown in solitary. An anti-lockdown Canadian pastor was arrested earlier this month for preaching in Canadian Coutts, Alberta, was reportedly been thrown in solitary where he has been on a hunger strike for 2 weeks. Was arrested on February 8th after he left his house to perform a church service. Before he left his house, I see, he was going back there, who set up a blockade, border protest vaccine. He's been charged with mischief, over $5,000, aiding and abetting the blocking of critical infrastructure, and for breaching the bail condition for not keeping, I see, breaching the bail condition for not keeping the peace, stemming from a previous arrest. Okay, so he's in jail because they'd already let him out once before, and he was leaving his house arrest. He was busted for leaving the house. They let him stay home. And the pastor, who's been arrested multiple times throughout the pandemic for opposing restrictions, remained quiet for most of the arrest, while his brother David hurled blistering invectives at the arresting. Blistering invectives, very nice. I do not cooperate with Nazis, Pawlowski said after the cops complained that he wouldn't stand up. That seems normal. Called police Mark Neufeld a disgrace to the uniform, blasted Alberta Premier Jason Kenney in a phone call. Pawlowski accused Kenney of hypocrisy for not abiding by the coronavirus restrictions he imposed on the people of Alberta. He was strip searched because he was vaccinated and went someplace. Everybody wasn't wearing a mask. Strip searched twice and checked for contraband, as you do. He was forced to go to the bathroom with an officer present and watching. They locked him twice in a small cage, resembling a dog kennel with no air circulation, suffering for many hours, all without water to drink. After that, he was subjugated to a hard bench three times for hours on end, all without any water to drink. When they took him back to his cell, his room was all upside down, flipped and searched for contraband. His Bible was confiscated, and his narrated letter he was writing to his lawyer was also confiscated. The totalitarian regime. Okay, during a 20-minute speech to truckers, he urged them to hold the line and stand their ground without resorting to violence. Because of that speech, the government is claiming that he is responsible for the continuation of the trucker blockade down the border. He was also not supposed to leave his house to go do it, it seems. An undercover minivan staked out our house. They got him. They arrested him. He's been behind bars in solitary for 23 hours a day. Nathan said his father was denied bail twice because he was already out on bail, fucko. And he violated it. He wasn't supposed to leave his house. He was basically under house. You stay in your house till trial. And then he left. Arrested on New Year's for allegedly breaking a court order. The brothers were arrested on their way home for protesting against COVID rules and jab mandates. I guess at some dude's house. I guess it's kind of new Iron Curtain of China. Oh boy. All right.
And they could decide it could be in a few months.
Yeah, because they already let him out once. And he told you to go fuck yourself. And then he called the cops Nazis. And they picked him up for leaving the house when he was like, yeah, I'll stay in the house. Because he's basically busted for trespassing by leaving his house, and being a liar.
It's a total lawlessness that what we're seeing.
No, it's totally the law. He agreed to bail conditions where he could leave if he stayed home and he didn't go to these things, and then he went to these things. So he violated the conditions of his bail, and then he went back to jail, and they're not going to give you bail again when you are basically in jail for violating your first bail, and then you got to stay there for your other trial.
In our once beautiful nation, Canada.
Yes, once beautiful. Now it sucks. Have you ever been outside now? It's terrible. There's a blight.
I mean, our premier, which is the equivalent to your governor, our premier has jailed more pastors than communist China has in the last 2 years.
No.
It's absolute insanity. I mean,
well, I mean, they don't consider Uyghur imams pastors, I guess.
4 pastors have been jailed in my province.
4?
For keeping their church open during the whole mandate restriction.
Huh. Oh, so trying to kill their parishioners.
Phase. And now my dad has been jailed for speaking, for
No. For violating bail. He agreed to not leave his house under those bail conditions. He lied to the court, and when he got home, he fucked off and left again. That's why he's out. It has nothing to do with anything else. Has nothing to do with his whatever freedom of speech ideas, any of that shit. He agreed to bail conditions and he broke them.
Exercising his free speech.
No. He broke his bail conditions. Fuck off.
It's absolutely
normal.
Insanity.
No, you're insane. Also, take your weird leopard thing off the wall. What the fuck is
disgusting what's happening in our country.
No, it's pretty normal, actually.
And
well, it's disgusting that your dad is telling the court he'll agree to the bail conditions to get out of jail and then lying.
We are holding protests outside the prison every
So what?
single day. I've been there every single day with a group of people from...
Yeah, this is your dad's fault. Yeah, your dad. These people are standing in the cold because your dad's an asshole.
Church, people who love freedom, people who
have been suckered into thinking that this guy is being persecuted for some reason instead of just somebody out going, hey, he's in there because he agreed to bail conditions and then he broke them. He agreed. He didn't have to agree. He could have stayed in jail for the first thing that he got busted for and stayed true to his principles and been, I'm fighting for free speech and I'm going to go on a hunger strike in here, blah, blah, blah. He could have done all that shit. He didn't. He went, Your Honor, yes, please let me out and I'll go home. And then he left the fucking house.
Love God.
No, he doesn't. Citation needed.
And we are there every...
It sounds like a giant act of ego.
Single day, expressing our support for this pastor and also to express...
This pastor's your dad. Also, the kid's got the Q horn. What's happening?
Our discontent with a government that arrests and jails pastors.
Why do pastors get a pass?
Actually, 2 days ago, they blocked off the parking lot as punishment because we defied their orders and we went right up to the prison and we blew our shofars and we...
Blew our shofars. Did the walls come tumbling down? And the walls came tumbling down.
Right on each side of the prison, contrary to the guards' wishes. So they punished us and now they've blocked off the parking lot.
Yes, you can't get the fuck back from the prison. We have other people in there who are murderers and psychopaths. And if you guys can torment them with loud noises, they'll file some sort of injunction to get moved. And then we have to transport dangerous criminals to another place where they could possibly escape or where they could file a suit against the government that this was allowed to, keep them from sleeping. And therefore it's cruel and unusual punishment. And they need to be, and then it runs up the price. Like fucking hell.
So we have to park, a kilometer away and...
Dear God, really?
Walk over, so it looks like a pilgrimage heading to the prison.
It isn't, though, just for the record.
So it's interesting, but our stance outside the prison, my dad calls us every day. He says he's standing strong. He says our presence at...
Yeah, he's inside. It's warm, actually. He's getting 3 squares, 3 hots and a cot.
Prison is making a difference.
Good.
Yeah, totally. His presence, I mean, it's not changing anything, but it's great that you guys are standing in the snow because it gives me a big ego bone.
Prayers are us anointing the place, us blowing the shofars. It's changing the
They're anointing. They're tossing oil on the prison.
atmosphere in the prison. He said the other
Yes, that's right, Mark. He calls them from solitary. It's got a payphone.
day on Saturday when we had a large
He had to smuggle a phone card in his buttocks.
Group of people come, and we blew the shofars on each side and prayed for the place. You know, people were on their knees praying.
Yeah, the ground's wet. You don't have to stand up. God doesn't care that you're not kneeling. It's not about penitence. You guys don't owe him an apology. You're there for support.
We had
sit in your car. It's warm.
We had worship songs playing, and he said
we had worship songs playing
all night long. His entire wing, the inmates were crying.
Yeah, with laughter.
They couldn't explain why. They didn't.
No, they couldn't understand why. It might have been something to do with the tear gas.
Understand why? I mean, some of them are hardened criminals, and
yeah, some of them, not a lot of them. Though it's Canada. I mean, it's Canada, so hardened criminals.
We're crying all night long.
All night long, all night. Yes, I believe this. Don't you believe this? I believe every word of this. That hardened criminals in a Canadian prison in the area around solitary and maximum security were crying all night because of shofars and worship songs.
Dad said they didn't understand it. They don't know what the Holy Spirit is, but they
were just crying.
Felt it. Our stance outside the prison right now is making a difference.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They heard the horns blowing and they were like, yeah, that'll get you out, asshole.
And my dad's stance inside the prison is changing the lives of the inmates. He said he had the largest group of inmates come to him. I mean, as you know, he's in solitary confinement, but
they were able to gather. I mean, it's Canadian solitary, so they want you to have friends.
He has 1 hour a day to shower and make phone calls.
And so he makes a phone call from the shower with a bunch of men, and it's the best gathering he's ever had. He told me this. Anyways, we FaceTimed. It was scary. I saw penises.
So during that 1 hour, when he's let out with more than one inmate, they
in the showers
form a group, and he had the greatest amount.
He formed a group in the shower.
Inmates come to him for prayer.
Yes, they were all kneeling.
Like 15 inmates.
A bunch of inmates gathered around him in the shower and told him to kneel in prayer. And it said it was great.
Do a circle and join him for prayer. They asked him for to pray.
Wow. If I believe this.
For healing, to ask Jesus into their hearts. So
ask Jesus into oh God.
As horrible as a situation this is, my dad is making a difference inside, and we're making a difference.
Maybe here's a good idea. If he's making such a difference inside, I would leave him there. Maybe he's doing the Lord's work. Maybe the Lord put him there for a reason. Do you ever think about that? Do you think God might have a plan that you're interfering with? You could, you're standing outside in your prayer and you're blowing your goat horns and your worship songs might be interfering. God, it's making unnecessary noise. God has a plan for him, and his plan is for him to go to prison for a long time and change a lot of hearts and minds in prison for a long time. That's God's. I mean, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and sometimes in cell block D.
The prison, this prison that he's staying at, is one of the most corrupt institutes in all of Canada. We found.
Yeah, really? And by the way, again, Canadian corruption, that's adorable.
It is a very vile place where
a prison?
People are abused.
What?
People, all kinds of
Wait a minute. People who've been to that prison are telling you they weren't treated nicely while they were in that prison? What were they in prison for? Yeah, I met this serial rapist who said that they were rude to him
goes
during
on
breakfast.
In that prison. So it's like it was needed almost.
Yeah, I think it is needed. I think you should stay in prison and fix it from the inside.
As horrible as the situation is.
Yeah, he's blowing the chauffeur. We're standing outside blowing our chauffeurs. What?
That is making
Nathaniel,
a difference inside.
Let me interrupt you there.
Yeah, let me break in for a second because I just got a message that your dad comes back and he said, if you're in his fucking chair, he's going to, and I quote, have your ass.
A second. I want to understand, what did they charge your father with this time? What was the charge?
Yeah, what was the charge? Speaking freedom. And it was an anti-freedom law.
Right. So for speaking to the truckers there, he made a 20-minute speech. For that speech, he was charged with mischief, over $5,000, aiding and abetting the blocking of critical infrastructure, and for breaching one of his bail conditions from a previous arrest for allegedly not keeping the peace.
Allegedly not keeping the peace, which of course he was indicted on, and he had bail for that.
So for that one speech, he has 3 charges pinned on him. And
which one got him in jail and got his bail revoked? The one where he had bail from the other thing and he told the judge to basically fuck off?
He was denied bail by the judge because the judge claims that he's a danger to the public. That he's a danger to the public and that he has the ability to raise funds, so it would be unjust to give him a cash bail, ability to go out on bail.
Well, because he had already done it.
By paying.
Jesus.
Which is absolute insanity. I've heard of first-degree murderers being let out on bail.
No, you haven't. You've never heard of first-degree murderers being let out on bail. You've heard of people who were charged with first-degree murder being let out on bail, but those people are innocent until they're proven guilty. You have not heard of first-degree murderers let out on bail. They may have been found guilty later, but at that point, they were innocent.
Cash bail, but this pastor, he's the danger to the...
Well, he already... See, if you're out on bail and you murder somebody, and then you murder somebody again and they catch you, they're not going to give you bail a second time. And the same thing applies to... Because part of the conditions of you getting bail on your first-degree murder charge is not murdering anymore.
And he's going to be held in solitary confinement indefinitely.
Sure. Yeah, it's a bit... Lance, when we hear stuff like this...
Yeah, Lanny Walnuts. You've been in solitary.
It really shows you to the depth of where Canada...
Yeah, get that kid out of there.
...is at. I mean...
Yeah, where Canada is. I mean, Canada has fallen.
This is...
Yeah, go for it, Lanny Walnuts. He's wrapped up. Look at this.
Still hard to believe this is coming from Canada.
Yeah, well, it would be in the United States, too.
No, it wouldn't.
Didn't have Christians that were in the legal system.
No, if we had different legal standards.
I mean, we just have enough vitality. They were trying to do that to Pastor Cheon.
That's right.
And charge $1,000 a day for every parishioner that went to the church. I mean, this ought to...
Oh, because this asshole was trying to kill his parishioners?
Wake us up, because I was with Nathaniel's father.
I believe you.
In the last trip that he made...
In the shower.
United States. And he was encouraging me on prison ministry because we talked about this moment. And I said, you can...
It is funny. It is funny because you was encouraging on prison ministry and now he's in prison.
Going, it looks to me like you're on a collision course with that totalitarian spirit. He said, look, first of all, my back...
He said, hey, I'm in prison.
I'm a fighter. He said, so, I'm not, and he's in the natural, I think he was a boxer or something.
Yeah, but he's a pastor now, so one would think you would put fighting aside and choose the no.
He says, so I'm not intimidated by a conflict.
No, of course not.
He said, but...
because I'm not because I'm a man of God, but because I'm not afraid to punch somebody.
He said, if God wants me to have prison ministry, then I'm going to go do prison ministry.
Okay, well then shut the fuck up and don't go for bail and tell everybody to go home.
And it was just such a...
Look at his son,
so inspired by his...
I was very uninspired by it too.
Courage that this is the kind of guy I'd want to be in about...
This is the kind of guy I'd want to be in.
With, because he's willing to take a stand. But
yeah, so that he can, kneel and take a stand.
I really, Nathan, I'm glad you're on, because I hunted you down.
Nathan? You mean Nathan?
Last night on Facebook to find you.
Uh-huh. So, yes. You were looking for his son on Facebook. Gotcha.
Because I couldn't hear in the States anything that was going on. And I think that I'll give a shout out to Stephen Strang right now over at Charisma. I think a bunch of us need to get this story and create an echo chamber.
Yes, create an echo chamber. That's what you want. Yeah, a cul-de-sac of information. A circle jerk of info.
And
yeah, we need to all stand in a circle, you know, shirts up, trousers down.
Start to create a very loud noise.
Yes, when we tug.
That produces pressure and embarrassment on...
Oh, I'm familiar with that loud noise. I don't have my sound box right now, but you'll have to trust me that I get it.
Canada, because that's the only thing they'll respond to is negative press.
Yes, that'll do it. Negative press. Why would they get negative press? For denying bail to a guy who jumped bail, essentially?
Yeah, and let me bring up Nathaniel. Your father, while he toured in the United States, he had the option to stay. Is that correct?
Yes, he did. He was offered for people to pay for his house, to give him a church. He was offered to bring all of us, our whole family, down there. But he said...
But he couldn't get a visa.
If he did so, he would be a hypocrite, and he wouldn't be able to live with himself because...
Well, he's obviously a hypocrite now because he says if God chose him for a prison ministry, so be it. And now he wants to get out.
His whole message is stand up, fight, resist.
Yeah, Jesus-y stuff.
You know.
Yeah, Jesus said, like when he yelled at lepers, stand up, fight your leprosy, resist.
Have faith. And if he ran...
Yes, resist and have faith at the same time.
Away from a fight, that would be very hypocritical of him, and his whole message would be meaningless.
And plus, most of he gets paid in Canadian, so
he would never do something like that. That's not in his character. He's a fighter. He's not a
pastor.
Coward. He's not going to run away.
He sure is. All right, so Nathaniel. All right, Flashpoint Army.
Flashpoint Army.
Your homework. Tell them about the website.
So,
yeah,
there's two websites.
Yes, one where you can buy prepper food, and the other one where you can buy a copy of The Great Reset by Glenn Beck.
One is freepastorart.com.
Freepastorart.com. So you get some art made by a pastor for free. I'm sorry.
Where you can go.
Pastoral art. Pastoral art. That's a good one. Free pastoral art.
Basically, our
free pastoral art. Freepastorart.com.
Mobilizing the American.
Free ass parts.
To put pressure on the Canadian government. There have been
free pastor pressure.
Several protests outside of Canadian embassies and consulates.
Yeah. Good. Waste everyone's time outside a consulate. That's what they need. A bunch of people gathered around screaming about shit when we're dealing with Russia.
There's two already in New York, one in Los Angeles, I believe. And people held banners, Free Pastor Art,
Yeah. Banners, no shit.
On Canada.
So it's not sinful to go to Office Depot and get something printed, right? Free pasta farts, Fiona.
I think pressure on.
Free pasta farts.
Canadian government to shame them for how they're treating Christians, how they're persecuting pastors.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. They're just putting them in solitary where they can't pass. I mean, do you ever try to pass a collection plate in solitary? The silence is deafening.
And also they've had a large petition that has been sent to the Ohio legislature, a resolution to put Canada on a religious watch list for persecuting Christians.
Yeah, a resolution to put that on there.
So if you're interested in that, you can go to freepastorart.com.
Yeah, I'm not really. And I'm not interested enough even to go there and troll. I wouldn't do that. I just don't care.
If you want to help my family directly.
I don't. I mean, I don't want to hurt your family, and I don't want your family hurt because I'm not that kind of guy. But I mean, you're way down on the list, bro.
We still, even with my dad in prison, we are still on the streets 3 times a week.
Jesus Christ. This man turns out his own family. Prostitution is no way to make a living. Not that way, son. I mean, you could twink your way across. I suppose Canada has some sort of standard.
Feeding the poor.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
Preaching the gospel. We still run a church. We're feeding people every single week. And if you want to help
let me guess, in exchange for eating, they have to listen to a sermon. Yeah?
Family directly.
And that you use their numbers to pad your numbers because the Canadian government gives subsidies to churches based on size? Nah.
Go to streetchurch.ca. That's streetchurch.ca.
Yeah, I got it. Stretchers.
You can help out that way.
Yeah, Stretchers. Good, Stretchers.
All right, but we've been having that website up. So let's put back up the freepastorart.com.
Free pasta farts and Stretcher art.
Ask Tony Suarez. Tony, would you pray for Nathaniel and his family, and of course Pastor Art, as we push to see him released?
Okay, I don't mock prayers, so we'll jump ahead. Do they finish? And then they go, amen. There he is. That's him saying.
Amen and amen.
Amen and amen and amen.
Nathaniel, thank you for bringing us an update. Our prayers are with you, and we'll check in with you again soon.
Yes, we recognize that the Lord wants your dad in jail, speaking the gospel to people who need to hear it. And I need sleep, so I am going to bed. Ooh, the train's going by. And thanks for staying up late. I'm going to sleep now. Love you guys. Peace and be wild. See you tomorrow, the regular time ish. Yeah, I think should be all right. Okay, take